Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I am your host, or one of your hosts, Eric Tenkar, and with me is none other than Bad Mike, the mask, is it the masked Mike now?
No, well, the mass Mike, but I'm also known as the most organized man in America, according to Zach. Um, which I I'm gonna have some T-shirts made. I think
Well, you should.
it's 8 p.m. I want to see Mike. Is
I
that
want
Mister?
to
Is
see
that my
Mike.
biggest fan, Mister? Is that Mister Tom Tullis, my biggest fan?
It is
Two and
Tom.
3D print.
Yeah, it is Tom Eister,
This
more
guy is
chick than
a
Tenkar.
great American. What a great
Yes,
American this man is. He takes my side over Zach's. He's just a great guy. Great guy.
he could be wearing that Great American Hero outfit.
He doesn't even have to wear it. He just when he walks down the street, eagles screech and they dive, and the flag flies behind him. It's just flying. Just flies. It just follows him. So
Falls
yeah,
apart.
yep.
So, folks, as you can tell, I am not at GameHole. I was supposed to be at GameHole. Um, Literally, something important came up timing wise with Rach. It was an appointment, a medical appointment we could not pass on. If we did, we'd be waiting another 6 months. And for those that don't know, this is not a secret, but if you've met Rach, you probably don't realize Rach is legally blind. So, trying to get specialized services, even in New York
Mhm.
City, is extremely difficult. So,
Yes.
we've got that. So, and then of course, then it became like, oh well, since you're not going, let's make every effing doctor's appointment for this week. Oh,
It
jeez,
sucks, man. I miss my booth buddy, man. You're
I
my booth
know.
buddy. I'm gonna have to hang out with Zach, which I've already hung out with him a few days now, so
Yeah, you
that's
you
wearing on me. Really
you
wearing
had
on me.
the 2 day commute,
Mhm. But
so
I need somebody to help. I mean, you should see what these guys did to the booth, Eric. It's not your style. You do some good booth management here.
I'm
This.
smart. I
Mhm.
listen. I did the grunt work, and Rach did the actual planning.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Well.
successful
Well.
marriage.
Uh, well, Jen will help me. Jen Glazer's here, and she's very competent, unlike Zach. So, she'll be able to help me out. Okay.
Well, she should be well rested because she flew in, right?
Yeah,
You
she
and
just
Zach
flew in.
drove.
I didn't know it was a straight shot from Phoenix to Madison. I'm going to see if it's a straight shot because she said the flight was really wide open. And as those who might have listened to our show for a while know, I flew for the first time in 21 years, a couple years ago, and I realized why I don't fly. I hate it, detest it. But I would fly on a half empty or more plane. That wouldn't bother me
Yeah,
because if I had room to spread out. So I think my wife and I are already planning to come here next year, and we may. I want to drive because it's an absolutely gorgeous drive. I can't tell you how pretty it is to drive through Iowa in the fall and Wisconsin and just that whole drive. It's just pretty, and the
right.
weather it was absolutely gorgeous. Um, I just I love it. I love that drive. It's just there's no traffic, very little construction. You just pretty much zip up here. I mean, yeah, it's a 2 day trip. You could do it in one day if you want to do 15-hour day. I don't like to do that, but
No.
2 8-hour days is fine with me. But yeah, we had a great. If for those of you might have watched our live stream, we had a couple of live streams on the North Texas RPGCon page, and they got some really good attention because this is our farewell tour, and by that we mean that we're probably going to close the warehouse down here, and I think from now on we're really probably only going to bring new stuff, to the con. We've got a lot of old
Right.
stuff that needs to go. So you're right, Tom. I was lucky to have us on stay. And I tell you what, we hit one of our favorite pork loin places there, Goldie's in Prairie City, and it was awesome. It was awesome. But no, we've got a booth set up here. Let me see if I can hold on. Let me see if I can do it here. That's our booth right with all the black stuff on it. And we're starting tomorrow. We're going to have 50% off of most of our stuff there, unless it's brand new.
There you
We're
go.
not doing the brand new stuff. But we come by if you are at GameHole, even if you have a lot of Frog Game stuff, you're going to want to check out what we have here because a lot of this stuff has been in storage for 2 years. We've got Teagle Manors, which we were sold
Ooh.
out of. Teagle Manors there. We've got some older stuff. We've got stuff like the Blight and Northland stuff. We don't even have the warehouse anymore. It's gone. This is the only place that exists on Earth is in this
See,
warehouse here.
it's like being in merry old England and digging up one of those old Roman sites and going, "I
That's
found a
exactly.
cascade of coins! Oh my god!"
Yes, that is exactly what it's like.
There you go. All right. Zachary, I would take a train ride over a plane ride. Actually, once this COVID crap is gone, Rach and I want to do an Amtrak at least out to Chicago, if
Well, that'd
not
be fun.
further. Or down to Atlanta, just something like that. But you know, oh, the train ride. Yes, Matt, train over plane.
I'm going to be putting my mask on here and there tonight because technically the county has a mask order, mask mandate. There's really not a lot of people here. As long as you maintain a 6 foot distance, you're probably okay. But unless you're eating or drinking, you really are supposed to be wearing your mask. So I'm going to pull it up every once in a while, and as I take a drink or two, I will pull it down. So one thing that's missing tonight is I do not have a whiskey. I am probably not going to drink this trip. I decided. So
Damn.
I know everybody's shocked, but I for those who didn't watch the last couple of shows, I had a colonoscopy a couple weeks ago. They found numerous polyps. I don't know if I talked about this online or not,
I don't
Eric. I
know.
can't remember.
I know we talked about it, but
They
I don't know
found
if we
numerous
talked about it.
polyps. They were all non-cancerous. Praise the Lord, and thank my buddy Doug died of colon cancer. So it's really important for me to have that checked. By the way, I made my wife go. She's going to go next week and get her first colonoscopy in 10 years. And if you are over the age of 50 and you have not had one done, go get it done.
Can I slink away right now and pretend I didn't hear that?
Because Doug when he went in to finally get his, he had stage 4 colon cancer, which they could not cure. The chemo kept him alive for 5 years, but he was basically he was walking dead at that point. He found that it was that far along. You don't know how sick you can be sometimes until you actually get it. So anyway, but the long story short, there's a long way to get around this thing that I had seven polyps. They operated on, they took them all out. So my gut's a little funky. My intestines are a little funky. I have 7 lasered wounds in there. And I've noticed the last couple of times I've had a talking crit and we've drank whiskey. Next morning didn't feel so good. I'm going to give it a couple weeks to heal up. And so I'll probably start drinking again come November. But right now I'm going to take it easy, just
Sounds
chill a
good.
little bit. Yeah. So enough about me and about everything. We've got so much stuff to talk about.
We got news. Do we want to deal with the latest news first, or the earliest news first, or?
You know what? You are the professional here. I am
I'm
just the monkey. I am just
the.
I am the most organized man in America, but that does not mean I'm the smartest man in America. That just means that I'm organized.
Listen, there's a scab that we can constantly pick at, and then there is we haven't spoken about these people for a while.
Well, let's talk about the newest thing, and then for the whole last hour, we can talk about the Paizo.
Okay.
Paizo happiness.
So here, let me. God damn it! Maybe this is as big as it gets. All right. So, for those of you watching at home, by the way, you can actually, if you want to read this better, you got a second screen. Just go to tenkarstavern.com. It was tonight's post, but TSRCon has moved its venue from the landmarked horticultural hall, right, where the first Gen Con was, and that's the reason why it was a big, huge place to go. We're going to have it at horticultural hall, and listen, we got plans for outdoor venues and all this other stuff. Now it's at the Dungeon Hobby Shop Museum.
Okay.
Well, now listen. If I'm going to play devil's advocate, I will say Justin Lanassa owns the museum. Therefore, he doesn't have to pay out of pocket to reserve the hort. I'm sure whatever deposit he put down for the horticultural hall, he sold it. Why? Because the weekend he got was July 1st through the 3rd of 2022, which would be the July 4th weekend. And guess what? Nobody was going to find a room in Lake Geneva.
It's not good. That is prime vacation party time for people to Chicago like to drive up there.
So I believe that the reasoning behind that weekend was, well, there's going to be so many people in Lake Geneva that we will get spillover from the vacationers, and you might, But that's certainly not something that you can bet on because they're not vacationing up there because they're playing games or want to play games. They're vacationing there because it's Lake Geneva. So
Yeah.
that's what it comes down to with that. So now if you look at this flyer, it is March 24th through the 27th. So it went from a 3-day convention to a 4-day convention. Interesting. But those dates look vaguely familiar.
Yeah, March. That's a big switch from. Something else happens about that time in March, Eric.
It isn't President's Day weekend because President's Day weekend is in February. Oh, St. Patrick's Day. No, that's
That's the 17th.
yeah, it's the 17th.
Is there another convention that day by any chance? That would be
Oh,
weird.
well,
That'd be very weird
that'd
for
be
that
very,
to happen.
yeah, because actually, GaryCon. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Wait.
seriously.
GaryCon happens to be in
Okay.
I guess Lake Geneva, right? That happens to be
Yeah.
where it is located.
Oh
So,
yeah. Oh yeah.
It's the same weekend in the same town
Oh.
as GaryCon. Now, why would you do that? Besides the fact that, I mean, general, I don't know, politeness, manners would be like, oh, well, you've got a con this week in Lake Geneva. We're going to do our con 2 weeks later. Why not, right? No. Because now you know that nobody in Lake Geneva is going to be there for anything other than going to GaryCon. There's no room. If you haven't got your GaryCon tickets yet and gotten your hotel, you're probably looking at a 40-mile drive to.
Sure.
Because that's the closest hotel.
Oh yeah,
you're gonna find.
This is not a big town. For those who haven't been there, it's off the beaten path. It really is.
Yeah.
So there's X amount of place to stay there, and then that's it. Then we're out of we're out of rooms. There's no more. There's no camping sites. There's no extra hotels. There's nothing.
No, this is it, and now that means that you're doing it this weekend with one intention and one intention only, and that's to peel away guests that are already going to go to GaryCon. Now, admittedly, since you've moved it to the museum, and I don't know what the maximum occupancy of the museum is, how many tables they can run at one time, I'm going to guess the only vending is going to be from Lanasa. And is Wild Eye 100% intentional? I'd say 110%, but who am I to say? What?
We can't let inside information we know about this. We don't have permission to say this, do we? Inside information.
Listen, I heard rumors. Now, the rumors I'm going to discuss are rumors that I heard from people not directly involved with the convention.
We can probably do that. Yeah.
I'm not going with any direct sources, even if direct sources may have confirmed the rumor too. So, one rumor I heard is that Lanasa was attempting to get paid by GaryCon for the use of the Dungeon Hobby Shop Museum. In other words, hey, you're having this great convention. I have this awesome location. You should pay me to allow you to send your attendees to my location. And that's rumor number one. I heard that.
I heard that, because what they thought is, hey, they're going to be in town for GaryCon anyway. Why don't you tell them to come on over to the Dungeon Hobby Shop? This is what I heard.
Right. And they wanted to get paid. Like, they can come
you
for
pay
free,
for it.
You're going to pay it.
But you pay for it. Yeah, we're not going to pay for it. But it'd be great if you paid for it and had people shipped over here in buses and stuff to tour it.
Well, that was something different. They wanted, when it was like, oh, well, we're not going to pay for our attendees. Well, then what we want, what we want is how I was told this. What we want is for GaryCon to provide a free shuttle service to the Dungeon Hobby Shop Museum.
That's kind of what I heard too.
People can pay their own way in at the museum because it's such a landmark. And
this was a way for from what I understood, like I said, this is just what I heard, and Eric probably heard the same sources I did. This was basically it's a money grab
Yeah.
by Lanos and company to, hey, you're going to be in town anyway for this other convention. Why not just help us out? We're a little guy, just help us out, and but
So
I
now,
can't talk about. You have to
well,
go with this.
initially,
So
when I was
dumb.
doing the post, I was like, well, I don't know if this is a new time and venue, and we still have the July dates
Mhm.
going. But then, as I was doing the post, I got a notification that, hey, TSR Hobbies has posted in GP Adventures. I went, oh, all right, let me look. And sure enough, TSR Hobbies, TSR Con date and venue change. So forget about that July convention that was probably going to be a wreck anyway. And if you're going to go for a convention for the OSR in July in Wisconsin, later in the month in Madison, Wisconsin, where you
Mhm.
happen to be, Mike,
Yes, true.
Wenger is going to be running an OSR Con, and he already has a hotel and he's capping at 100 people.
Hmm.
So, I mean, that is something that I can see coming off and being successful.
Right.
I don't know about this. Now, what I did find interesting, though, about this is that it used to be 4 out of 5 sponsors were all Justin Lanassa
Right.
and Ron
Remember
Nemeth.
that? Yeah. That's a
Now,
that's a real thing.
the Lizard Man logo. Oh, what the hell did I just do? I hate. Oh, no, I don't want to go to Lamentations. Holy shit.
Oh boy, what do they do?
No,
Oh
no,
no,
no. That's
no.
a whole other bag.
Oh no, no.
All right,
By the
hold
way,
on.
I'm gonna pimp Ed Bigford tonight. Ed Bigford. I'm sitting in his booth. It's across from ours. Ed Bigford's a good artist, great artist.
Nice
Love his
stuff.
stuff. So he's got some stuff here. He's not here right now. Come if you're at GameHole Con, please come by Ed Bigford's booth and look at some of his artwork. Great stuff. He used to draw the comic books, man. He's big time.
It looks definitely pretty
And he's
good.
got right behind me. Got some of his stuff there. So
There you
yeah,
go.
definitely check out Ed Bigford. I'm sorry. Go ahead. So go
No,
ahead.
no. So now there's a second legit sponsor. So there's only 3 are TSR, the Dungeon Hobby Shop, or
Mhm.
OSR Games, which is
Right.
Justin Lanassa. The new one is Smuggler's Coffee. And I was like,
Oh, okay.
I'm like,
That's new.
well, who the hell is Smuggler's Coffee?
Mhm.
And unlike the other sponsor, who when I looked them up, was it
What
Mystic?
wasn't real? Wasn't real.
Right.
They weren't
Or
really real. Yes.
these people are legit and they sell coffee that
Oh,
is gaming themed. Look, the adventure begins.
I'm interested. That sounds fun.
Mordor calling.
It sounds fun. I like
Uh,
that's the kind of
barrel,
stuff that's good for gifts. Good to buy
barrel
your gaming
aged,
friend.
barrel aged critical hit.
Wow, I can't believe they
So,
actually found a legit sponsor. That's awesome.
I mean, I was just like, holy crap. So I don't know. Listen, I don't drink coffee, and somebody already PM'd me as how the hell could you have been a cop for 20 years and not drink coffee?
Yeah, that's weird.
I am a tea person. All right, not a coffee
You
person.
do like an occasional donut, though, right?
I prefer crullers because they were less.
Oh boy.
Donuts always came with powdered sugar. Crullers came with like real sugar on it.
You couldn't do the powdered sugar because I know why. Because it's your uniform.
Yeah,
You don't want to mess with your uniform. I
blue,
know.
dark navy blue. I mean, it was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
so that looks to be a legitimate sponsor. I give credit where credit is due. Now, what I do find interesting is last week there was an interview. Vince Florio interviewed Justin and was it Michael Havermeyer?
Right. Yeah, Michael Havermore also, and I watched. I
But
subjected
God
myself to
bless
2
you.
hours.
I
2 hours
got
of
through
that.
45 minutes and Rachel
Oh,
refused to listen to anymore because I was trying
I
to
did
make her
too.
suffer with me.
I know you were. Yeah, you were going to listen to it on your way to the
Okay.
Poconos. You didn't
Now,
make it. You didn't make it the whole 2
no,
hours.
no, we didn't even make it past it. I think
Oh,
we made it to New Jersey, and then she's like, "Enough."
yeah. No,
We have
New
XM
Jersey's
radio
bad
installed.
enough. I mean, yeah, New Jersey's
Enough.
bad enough. You don't want New Jersey plus Lanas's voice. That's
No,
tough.
no, no. God forbid you might miss an exit trying to get out of New Jersey.
I will say this. I thought Vince did a good job with the interview. I told him so later on because
I told him the
he
same.
did what a good interview should do. and that's sit back and let the subject tell the story. And he gave Justin and Michael ample time to explain what they were doing, and they dodged every question. They were very evasive, and from what I got from the 2 hours was they don't have anything. They've got a big old bag of nothing.
Well,
So
you would think.
congratulations to Vince to put that out there. I mean, he did. I mean, they had nothing. They had nothing.
You would think that if you had a change of date and venue for your convention, you would have announced it on an interview last week when you had
Yes.
Vince Florio, probably the largest name in OSR podcasting and
Yes. Yes.
YouTube, giving you a platform and saying, "Hey, tell the world what you
Mm-hmm.
have." And all
Oh
we
yeah.
got was, my good friend in New York, that piece of shit. Yeah, that's me. Thank you very much, Justin.
I don't think he
I
knows who
love
I.
you
He
too.
doesn't know who I am yet. So
Yeah, yeah. You know,
which is okay. That's fine with me.
my good friend doesn't know anything about running a museum. I do know that if you're running a for-profit museum and you want people to donate valuable items, they can't make a tax deduction to donate to a for-profit museum.
No.
So it's harder to get material for your museum on that level. And what I did find interesting, and I don't know if you got more information on this
Uh-huh.
before I tapped out, sadly. He was saying that he's giving money to the Gygax Memorial Fund because that plaque at the park is an insult.
Well, guess what? That plaque in the park is going to be the only memorial there because Gales is never getting done ever. So if he's donating money to that, he might as well just take it and tear it up and throw it in the toilet and flush it. And speaking of that, the Gail tried to do this for you. Do you remember when Gail tried to do this a few years ago? I don't know if you remember this, Eric.
What?
She announced about 5 years ago that the same weekend as Gary Con, she was going to have a Gary Gygax birthday celebration at a bookstore
Oh
in
no!
downtown Lake Geneva. It was the Saturday, the same Saturday as Gary Con, and she announced it on her page and went into detail about we're gonna have a big birthday cake and this. It never happened. So because nobody is going to leave Gary Con to roll on over to your either TSR Con or your birthday cake con. So it's silly. What's the name of Vince Floro's podcast? What is the name, Eric? I can't remember.
I'm looking up.
We probably could post a link to it. He did a good job. He did a really good job. It's very long though. Good Lord, it's long. It's over 2 hours long.
Well, here, don't look up Vince Florio on YouTube because that will not give it to you.
Mhm.
Oh, jeez. You know what? I'm gonna have Mike, entertain the troops. I'm gonna have to look at my old my.
Yeah, I guess I have to. I probably do the same thing. We'll post it at some point during the show. But yeah, this has been tried before. And look, Lake Geneva is not big enough for two gunfighters. There's only one big.
No.
There's only one big enough in this town. And if you're going to try to run something the same weekend that Luke's doing his thing, you're just destined for failure. And so I don't understand. I don't get this.
Idols,
Get it.
Idols and Efrides. I will take this and link the episode because I listen. I apologize. I said my intention was to listen to it all. And again, Vince is a really skilled podcaster. I've called him the like the podfather of the OSR.
And Eric and I don't agree with Vince all the time either. That's, I mean, like anybody else, we have different ideas about the OSR and different things, but he did a good job here because, like I said, there's too many interviews here that try to insert themselves into the interview or the story, and he just sat back and let the people he was interviewing tell the story, which I think it's kind of a lost art, really.
Yeah, but Vince has been doing this for years. By the way, I guess the name of the channel is the Evil DM.
Oh,
but
that's right. Yeah.
Kind of like the name of this channel is Tenkar's Tavern. It's not Talking Crypt, but there you go. But Vince has been doing this. Oh my God! What did they happen to mention how Jim Ward is doing on the interview? I
No,
don't think so.
they were not very concerned about Giant Lands or Ward because they're that's another enemy of theirs now.
Right.
They're Giant Lands and Heart and Ward are now enemies of theirs. So yeah,
But they're not going to call Jim Ward an enemy, because you call Jim Ward an enemy and you're going to make yourself enemies in
right.
old school gaming. But they don't want anything to really to do with that part of it, because Giant Lands is, well, besides the fact that it's not always old school, and I'll agree on
It's
that.
not OSR, yeah, and
Um, it is no longer a TSR product, and I am sure they're still
yeah,
getting requests for money back. That is a whole
yeah,
bag
that's a whole
of.
bag of crap that they're yeah they're it's weird how they just seem to make enemies in the hobby. They're not getting anything done. They have nothing published, but now they just keep making more and more enemies. So now they have a con right in the middle of Gary Con. It's a crappy publicity move. I mean, let's face it. Gary Con's going to get however many people Gary Con wants, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, whatever.
Mhm.
And this is not going to hurt Gary Con one single bit. It's just
Well,
not
it
going to hurt him.
can't, because here's the thing: anybody who's going to go to TSRCon will be a GaryCon attendee. Nobody's going to go, oh, I want my money back from GaryCon. I'm going to stay at the hotel, but I want to spend my time for 4 days in the Dungeon Hobby Shop Museum. Nobody's going to do that. What's going to happen is people are going to hop in a car and drive downtown and say, hey, look, there's a museum. Now, we don't know what the charges are. I believe that it was going to be significant for uh, TSR Con's old venue, but being that Justin owns this venue, um, is it going to be like, people can come down and play for the day? I don't know. Or are we going to be looking at people paying $1,000 a head to play with Ernie Gygax? Again, I don't. Mike, you're muted. I can't hear you. Cough once if you're alive. There we
So
go.
I think maybe you could come into town and you're going to go to Gary Con anyway, right? And then you head over to the museum. I can see that. And you check out their stuff and you talk to Jeff Leeson and Ernie and stuff. I mean, that's not a bad deal. Just to have, why not just have it open? Have it open during the weekend of Gary Con and get some people. You'll get some people to break off over there, right?
Right.
I mean, they'll go over there, but to try to say they have an entire convention there, it's ludicrous because nobody, they, like you said, they may come for one game. They may come to say hi to Ernie. They're not going to spend all weekend there when Gary Con is right down the street.
And the idea again, the idea that they are the nation's primordial gaming convention.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. That's good.
Primordial means that they are the first. They're not.
Okay, sure.
Basic, maybe.
The real TSR was these guys are TSR 3 times removed, but go
Yeah.
ahead.
It's
Whatever,
like
whatever.
we are. We have some direct blood lineage to the founder of TSR.
Sure.
Okay, but that doesn't mean that what you're going to be running at the Dungeon Hobby Shop is going to be a convention.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say it, any more than Bill had a convention when he brought all his gamers out to his house.
Yeah.
It was a gaming weekend, but
Sure.
I don't know.
Well, we had a bunch of people at Doug's Memorial a couple weeks after he passed away, and we had about 20 people out there, and we gamed. We didn't call it NTRPG Con 13.5 because it wasn't.
Could've.
I mean, it was just us hanging out there. So them calling this, well, I mean, TSR Con, whatever they want to call it, but it's just it's a dick move because he doesn't like Luke. He does.
No.
Let's put it that way. He doesn't like him. He doesn't like the success that Luke's having. I mean, he doesn't like the fact that they put up a memorial for Gary, which I don't know how you could not like that unless you're Gale and you're never going to build your giant statue. And so I don't know if he is he trying to hook up with her now because that's going to not work out well for him if he wants to do stuff with her. People have tried and it just doesn't work out. Okay, so I don't know. And here's what's sad about this. He could have done this. There's a lot of good ways to do this. Like I was just saying, just open up a museum here that weekend and tell
Right.
people, hey, you know,
Free admission.
we're going to be
Look,
open.
we give free
Free
admission that
admission,
weekend.
yeah, something like that. I mean,
To
come
all,
and meet Ernie, meet Jeff,
yeah,
have a good time.
yeah.
You know.
Bring your Gary Con badge for free admission.
Oh, see, that's
And
good.
then you have people in the store. They can buy the tchotchkes. They can buy the little pieces. Maybe some will say, "Hey, Ernie's running a game. Oh my God, it's $1,000 a head. No, but for the convention, we're giving 70% off. It's only $300 a head. Oh wow! All right, cool. But I mean, there are ways you could have handled. But this was the attempt to do a power move when you're not in a position of power. You know,
Yes, yeah. It's just it's like you're the little nagging. Like I have, so I'm swinging. So I got there's flies in here like crazy because apparently it's too warm to have killed off the flies in Madison, and there must be like 15 flies in here. So I have these little flies flying around. That's what Lanasa's doing. He's the little fly flying around, buzzing around Luke, just being annoying as all hell. He's not really.
I'm loving this. If you want to
He's not
see
doing it. He's not
bad
doing it.
Mike in action, this is it.
Oh,
Some people would pay for this. You get this for free.
I can't hit them; they're too fast. But yeah, this is what this is like. It's just a little annoying fly flying around. It doesn't have to be this way. This is all on his part, because I can tell you from what Luke has been saying online, Luke doesn't care about him. You know what I'm saying? Luke doesn't care about him. He cares too much about Luke, and he shouldn't care about Luke. He just do his own thing. Just do your own thing. You
But
know,
like you said,
why do you care what Luke thinks about you?
they were interviewed for an hour and a half for over 90 minutes, and they could announce no projects. They hinted at projects, but they had nothing to announce. Nothing. You know, the hint that, oh well, there's an old school property that we may be able to get licensed.
Whatever. Yeah. Well, let's hear it. Come on, tell us, talk to us. Yeah, nothing. Yeah, look, I forced myself to listen that entire 2 hours, and I got Zippo. You know, I mean, I heard a lot. It was interesting. I heard a lot about Justin's life, and this guy Michael sounds like he's pretty competent. I mean, he doesn't sound like
he's got one of those like
he's
Hollywood
very
voices.
he's very competent, but
Yeah.
but there was just no there. There was
No
nothing.
substance. There was no substance.
No.
Now, if you're a gamer and you want to know what's going on with TSR Hobbies, just know that they've got lots of things planned, and that asshole in New York, he don't know nothing about what we got planned. So don't you be listening to him about nothing, if he don't
Yep.
know nothing. All right, my good friend from New York, the asshole. So, I'm sure I'll get a comment from Justin on that one. I did not say what you say. I said.
Man, it just drives. You know, I hate to see people play things wrong when they could have done really well by just doing a couple things differently. And really, this was just played wrong the whole way down the line. It should have been played totally differently. And if they'd have worked hand in hand, I mean, maybe not hand in hand, but if they'd have worked not at opposition to Luke and Gary Con, they could have done something with this.
Right. You didn't need to be endorsed by Gary Con to be able to work with them.
Yeah.
And again, the easiest way would have been, and I will admit, it is quite likely that if Gary Con started seeing flyers from the TSR Museum, the Dungeon Hobby Shop Museum popping up on the grounds of the convention, they probably would have removed those flyers quickly. But you don't need to get too many out there for people to go, oh, hey, listen.
Well, due to comments made by, I think, Deinhardt and Lanasa, they were banned from Gary Con.
Yes.
So right off the bat, they poisoned the well. But you could still go from there. You could go on from there. Okay, they don't want us there. Fine. We're still going to be open. Dungeon Hobby Shop is still going to be open in downtown Lake Geneva. Come on by.
And we still want to give something back to the gamers that have come out to celebrate Gary's life.
Yes.
Come to the museum. There's free admission. We'll have coffee and donuts or something like that.
Mhm.
Donut holes, no more than one a person, but still, I mean, you could have done that, and
Right.
it would have been a lot more effective than this. But this is somebody, and I'm going to ask forgiveness. Listen, if you're younger than 16, you may want to put your fingers in your ear and go tingy lingy loo. This is somebody who's lived his life pulling out his dick to show how large it is, and I'm going to measure up against yours. And you know what? TSR Con does not measure up against Gary.
No,
I'm
unfortunately. So,
sorry, man. That's when you got to admit that you're Irish and you got to walk home in shame.
so who's going to have a bigger attendance,
Well,
VentureCon, or TSR Con at this
oh,
point?
I'm going to say VentureCon. I mean, I'm on the fence, but I actually, I had to miss GameHole. I might actually be Rach wants to go to Madison, so we might have to be out there.
I'm thinking about going to Wisconsin this summer. My wife wants to see it. We may hit VentureCon. I don't know. We'll see. I'd rather go there than TSR Con because I don't want to pay $100 to play a game with, or $1,000 to play a game with Ernie. So,
right.
And most of the stuff in his museum, I probably have in my closet somewhere.
Yeah.
So,
or if I really wanted to see it, I could just invite myself to Bill Meinhardt's house, and then I'd see a lot more than what's at the museum.
So as typical, this is just it's just a sad move. I mean, you can't even get mad at stuff like that. I bet Luke's not mad at this. I bet Luke's just rolling his eyes, going, "Okay, whatever."
I would suspect Luke's more disappointed.
Yeah.
It's like, did it have to come to this? And you know what? Luke will probably have to explain to convention goers, no, we're not affiliated with TSR Con.
He's going to probably have to have a post. Yep.
We're going to have to let you know that these are two separate entities and one has nothing to do with it. Now, if you hadn't done this, and you could have just said, hey, we're going to free attendance to all Gary Con attendees, what Luke would say, they're not affiliated with us and your free admission is invalid? No. You'd be like, all right, yeah, whatever. Go over there and hang out with Ernie.
Yeah.
So.
Well, maybe they could get Gail to show up because she won't be doing anything that weekend. So, hey, you get a little cachet there if you get Gail to show up, and then you can hand her a check for all the money you want to give her for the memorial that she's never put up yet and probably never will. So,
remember,
go for it.
The reason why he can give money is because he is for profit, and if you're for profit, then you can do things for nonprofits. But if you're a nonprofit, you can't do nonprofit things or something like that. I was trying to understand the reasoning, and that's pretty much where Rach told me to turn the fucking shit off and put on classic rewind.
I can hear Rich. I can actually hear Rach saying that. So
yeah, turn that shit off.
She might get more agitated by that than you and I do. I think she gets more agitated than we do.
Well, because you know what, we find the humor in it, and I'm like, well, you know what. There's a certain amount of stupidity that you have to laugh at, right? You kind of go, well, some people are just foolish, and with Rach, she was a social worker, so she doesn't find that humor in it. She's just like, I worked with people worked at supervising or helping people like this my lifetime. Don't make me deal with it now that I'm retired.
No, come on, man.
Come on, man.
Let that poor woman alone. Leave her be. Don't let her have to deal with these idiots.
Well, I know, and I shouldn't make her listen to that. She's funny though, because I'll listen to gaming stuff, and some of the stuff she'll go, oh, explain what's going on there, and she'll understand some of it. But when it becomes things like the stupidity, she has no patience for it. And that's when the Irish American starts coming out, and the C word.
Oh boy, yeah.
And and the P word and all these when I hear the T word, I cringe.
Oh yeah, because we don't use that language. That's crazy.
No. But if you are an Irish American woman or an Irish woman, apparently these come along with your papers, and it's like. I can say the following. It's like, can I say it back? No. Okay.
No.
That's right.
No.
I have the F word. I can.
We cannot.
Yes.
We have to make do with other curses. Yes.
Yes. I have the F word. It can cover much, if not everything else. All right. So now that we've been entertained by
And
TSR.
just to let you know, I've got about 15 minutes left on my computer here. I'm trying to pull you up on the tablet. I'm having a little difficulty. I don't want to bail out, but I may have to bail out here in about 15 minutes. I'm going to try not to. I'm going to try to get my tablet up and going. Oh, you know what? And I have another backup. I got my phone. If I can't get my tablet up, I got my phone too.
Ooh,
So
yeah.
we're going to see if I can get one of these up and going. And but yes, enough about that. Let's move on to our even bigger story of the. And this broke after we were off the air last week.
Yes,
this broke. Yes.
So, but then it got even bigger. So what happened was,
oh yes,
Paizo staff, was it some 30 odd, decided that we're going to unionize, and they announced a union, the Paizo Workers Union, and I was like, okay, and this is their United Paizo Workers, and this is their hammer and sickle, or their star and pickaxe, ready to go, and they really had, it's funny. You get a union, and the first thing the union does is tell other people to strike. They're not striking, by the way. The union isn't striking. However, Paizo freelancers apparently organized a job action back in September with demands, I tell you, that included things like, I don't know, what do they really want? Like more pay, investigation into why the customer service manager was fired, things that really, more pay is great. But here you have the Starfinder and Pathfinder senior line developer tweeting about this job action by people that will not be covered by the union. But in support of the union, because now these 40 freelancers, all they want is, if Paizo will respect the union and acknowledge the union's existence and work with the union, they will start submitting that work. And before I start reading through these wonderful fucking tweets, here's the problem with this. You are a freelancer, so you're under contract to deliver something. You violate that contract, you fail to deliver, guess what? If Paizo's weren't willing to bite the bullet, they let you go. They move on to one of 1,000 freelancers that are looking to do the work.
You're a replaceable commodity. Yes.
Okay. There's freelancers are literally a dime a dozen. Not good ones, but you know what? Sometimes you don't need a good one. Sometimes you need good enough. So here are their tweets. Today, I want to shine a spotlight on UPW's secret weapon. The union's secret weapon is freelancers. Paizo's freelancers are our ally in this fight, and we're helping each other. Here's how. Okay. Paizo's business model is built on freelancers. Very few of the words in our publications are written in-house by full-time employees on the clock. Instead, we outline projects, hire freelancers to execute those outlines, and develop and edit those manuscripts. So basically, they farm everything out. I see we lost Mike briefly. That's okay. So, moving on. I see a return of the mic. Hold on. Adding to stream. There we go.
I'm back. I'm on my phone. Hello, folks.
There you go. So,
Back in black.
Go for it.
This allows a relatively small number of people, about 35, including art directors, editors, designers, developers, and more, to produce, well, everything. Have you seen our production schedule lately? It's long, and Paizo must publish new books to pay its bills. Let me remark on that. They must publish books to pay their bills. If they don't publish books, bills don't get paid. If bills don't get paid, freelancers and the union don't get paid.
Bingo.
So this is a game of chicken. Well, about a month ago, about 40 of Paizo's most reliable, no longer are they going to be considered reliable, by the way. If you are part of this work stoppage or job action, no other publisher is going to want to work with you after this, because they know what you've done to Paizo. And Paizo has the right to probably not give you as much work as they did before because you're not reliable anymore. A freelancer is only as good as their reputation. We'll have to wait for Mike to come back again. So, I heard a boop. So there we go.
Right. I'm on my. Let's do the tablet. That way I can hear you a little better. Sorry, folks. Sorry about the technical difficulties. The most organized man in America has some issues.
This is like when I was up in the Poconos over the summertime, and my computer died.
That was
yeah.
I was that bad. This was easily that bad. So I'm sorry, Eric. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So now, in official parlance, this is called concerted action. In layman's terms, it's a strike without a union. Okay.
Yes.
Some of these freelancers were in the middle of projects with upcoming deadlines. Some of them had completed manuscripts they refused to turn over. Right there and then, you're violating a contract that you signed. I am not a lawyer, but that does not bode well for future employment. If you
Eric,
cannot,
I talked to a lawyer this last weekend. I won't name the name.
Yes.
But he's a name that might be known to some of our listeners. But I'll just say that, yes, this unofficial lawyer said what you're saying is absolutely true. They're going to have this. This could be a gigantic pile of poo-poo.
So again, you violated your contract and not even for, in this case, to get something that you want. You're doing it for something somebody else wants. All right.
Right.
Some are people we need to hire to get scheduled books underway in time to publish. All of that froze. Folks, Paizo can't operate in that environment. No, they can't. We can't just assign 10,000 word organized play scenarios, 35,000 word SF adventures, 50,000 words Pathfinder 2 adventures to new untested freelancers. And for many projects, it's too late in the schedule to do that anyway. Well, guess what? If they are not meeting the terms of their contracts, you can terminate them. And who's going to hurt more in the end? The freelancer.
But here's something you're I don't know if you're overlooking it or if you're going to get to this. One of the Wired article that came out yesterday, I think it was yesterday. They talked to several Paizo employees, and this is mind blowing, absolutely mind blowing, who said their full-time salaries were in the $30,000 to $40,000 range. Kids, I make that doing the little piddly shit I do. That's ludicrous, and I don't live in Seattle, Washington, which is which is expensive to live there.
Yeah, listen. 25 years ago, I got hired in the NYPD as a rookie cop. My salary, base salary, not the effective salary, which was higher, was $28,500. That's 25 years ago. My actual salary was $31,000 with holiday pay. So
how long ago was that?
That's 1996.
Okay. 1998.
25 years later.
1998, when I married my wife, I was making probably $33,000 a year. Now, that job did come with a company car, which added, I guess, about $5,000 a year.
Right.
But that was 25 years ago. That's how much I was. So I'm making as much as these mooks are 25 years ago. But here's the deal. To help boost their salaries, they were expected to engage in freelance work on the side. So these full-time staffers were also doing freelance work. So when they say that X amount of freelance staffers aren't working, they mean themselves. They're not doing any freelance work either. So, hey, Greg, good to see you. So this isn't just randos out there. This is Paizo employees saying, not only are we not going to work full-time, we're not going to do this freelance stuff we usually do. It's a big time, pencils down, pins down, whatever.
That's very interesting. I did not read that article.
It's not just randos. God, this fly I'm about to kill this fly. The fly wants me to hit my face, and everybody will laugh at me with this, and I'm not going to do what the fly wants. because I have a brain, the fly doesn't. So, but anyway, yeah. So they're talking about themselves in a lot of these cases when they're saying that freelancers won't work for them. So don't be misunderstood. This is just a bunch of freelancers out in the industry. This is Paizo employees
Interesting.
also double dipping because they
All
can't
right,
afford
well,
to make
here.
things eat. You can't afford to live in there for $33,000.
No, you
However,
can't.
if you make another, anywhere from $20 to $30 an hour freelancing, well, all of a sudden now, but that also means that you're not working 8-hour days. These guys are working
No.
12 to 15-hour days just to make ends meet.
Yeah.
Which it's that's wrong. That really is wrong.
Well, then that makes sense then with the next tweet.
Mm-hmm.
This group of freelancers had a specific list of demands, and now the list of demands has nothing to do with what freelancers would be concerned about.
Yeah.
They wanted Paizo to hire a diversity officer. That doesn't affect freelancers.
Yes.
And
But
investigate
it
recent
affects them
terminations.
in their regular job. Exactly.
Right. Freelancers won't care about terminations at Paizo, right? But
Right.
if you are a Paizo employee that freelances,
Yes.
yes.
You definitely
Yesterday, they updated their demands. They'll all come back to work if Paizo recognizes the UPW. So
this is
don't
a power
ignore my left hand because it's all happening in my right hand. That's an interesting pack of shit. This is an enormous lever, and we at UPW are incredibly grateful to have it. Paizo can't make its production schedule without freelancers, and it can't pay executive salaries without publication. Wow. But if they recognize our union, freelancers come back to work tomorrow because the union actually represents the freelancers.
This is they're not going to get out of here unscarred. This is bad. They have two bad choices. Number one, don't recognize the union. That's terrible. Terrible choice. Because they've already shown to have shoddy business practices.
Yep.
And if they do decide not to do that, they're going to get hammered by everybody in the industry. Number two, recognize the union. That's going to be they're probably going to have to do that. I don't see how they get out of this unscathed. The only solution I can see, because they're in a not right to work state. They're in Washington. That they at this point right now, since the union has announced that they want to have a union, they cannot fire people right now. They cannot sell the company. They cannot sell off assets. There's a lot of things they cannot do now in a not right to work state, which Washington is. So they have to either deal with these people on these terms or try some finagling. All I could think is they would have to sell the company to a disinterested third party, maybe. I mean, I
don't know, man.
Move to Texas. I mean, they could move to Texas tomorrow.
But
there's
now,
not much they can do.
You've given me information I did not have. I did not realize
interesting.
that the freelancers were also union members. So now we're actually mixing.
Well, see, Tenkar, I didn't realize this till I read the Wired article yesterday.
Right. Well, the thing.
That explained it. It made perfect sense.
And by the way, their union has been recognized or is part of or being supported by the CWA, Communication Workers of America, not a small parent union, a large, very large parent union.
Oh yes.
Now, here's a conjecture. Before I conjecture, I want to go back to one other part.
Conjecture.
I'll conjecture.
I will conjecture on your conjecture when you conjecture.
I'm going to conjecture that this is a backdoor way to get freelancers unionized by.
Not only that. I don't think they really want Paizo. They want WotC. That's who they really want.
Oh, they want WotC. They want Blizzard.
Yes, they want Activision.
Yep.
They want this. This is a foot in the door to get what they really want, which are video game companies and larger game companies. And the only larger game company out there is WotC. So yes, this is a foot in the door.
And it's interesting that you pointed out, like I said, that these freelancers are actually union people freelancing on the side. So very interesting. So now, what I wanted to get back to. So yes, contract negotiations will be long and trying for all involved, but Paizo still gets books out the door. It'll be able to make its commitments, pay its bills and salaries, And during contract negotiations, we, the people who hire freelancers, we, the people who fucking are the freelancers, can pay back. And in contract negotiations, we can fight for better pay rates for freelancers, better pay rates
for them, so
for
they don't have to work
ourselves.
15-hour days,
Yes.
12 and 15-hour days. Hell yeah.
We can get more time in the schedule, so writers have more time to do their job right. We can get play testing built into these schedules, which not only helps play testers but creates better books. That to me was the jaw-dropping moment when
they don't play test their material.
They don't play test their material. We don't have play testers.
We don't have time to play test this stuff.
It's not built into the schedule, so we don't do it.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
That's pretty. I mean, look, there's a lot of people in this industry that don't play test their material. Rarely have they come out and admitted they didn't. But they pretty much came out and said, "Yeah, we don't have time to play test this stuff." I mean, it happens. I know companies that don't play test their material, but not for Frog Games. We play test our stuff. But there's people that don't, and it's a dirty little secret in the industry. But yeah, to come out and mention that, I think it's pretty funny.
So Matt Melman, the foot in the door argument is interesting. The state of California is in a nasty lawsuit against Activision in part for the practice of using so much contract work. Listen, this industry, the gaming industry, as small as it is in the larger scheme of, geek hobbies and the monies that are invested in such, is almost all self-publishing and freelancers.
Sure. Look, but most of our hobby is seriously, it's like it's two guys in a room in their house. There's WotC on the top, and then you got a couple people. You got Paizo underneath them. Then you got your Green Ronins, Frog God Games, Onyx Publishing, and then you have 800 people that are doing this out of their kitchen. You got your Greg Gillespie's, you got your Levi Combs, and they're not interested in this because it doesn't affect them one way or the other. So you have to sit there and go, why are they making so much trouble for this one little company with 30 people or 60 people? It is a foot in the door to go to Blizzard, which is not union, Activision. What are some other? There's a bunch of other companies.
Look at Matt's comment. To have it up on the screen. Read that comment. Read it out loud.
Feds made a ridiculously low settlement with Activision, and the Communication Workers of America have joined the state of California in opposing a sweetheart federal settlement.
What a coincidence, right?
Oh, extremely coincidental. So coincidental that I don't believe it's a coincidence.
It might just as well have switched the convention to the same date as GaryCon in the same town.
So
coinciding.
This is interesting. This is going to be extremely interesting to see what happens because Paizo is in a bad place and a worse place, and they're going to have to decide which one works for them. And like I said, the fact that they're not in a right to work state. If they were in Texas and this happened, they could close tomorrow. They're in a right to work state. They could close tomorrow. They could sell their assets tomorrow. They could fire everybody tomorrow. They cannot do that in Washington. They cannot do that. And they are based in Washington. So that they can't say, oh, well, we're not really based in Washington. No, they are based in Washington. 100%. As a matter of fact, one of the things I thought was interesting when I was reading the articles is that apparently they require all their employees to live in Washington. Did you catch that when you read it?
Yeah, they all got to live in the area. Yeah,
that they do not want them to work remotely, which I think is weird. But that's one of the things that may come back to bite them in the ass, that they have so many employees that pretty much says we are in Washington, and Washington is a not right to work state. So there's a lot of things you can't do when your employees say we would like to try to unionize. And you could outsell the company, you could outfire the workers. I mean, there's all these things you can't do.
Yeah, Joe, we actually bounced this off a lawyer who gave us their unprofessional opinion in an unofficial manner, but their understanding is Washington is not a right to work state, right. Which of course is a misnomer, right? You figure right to work means I'm protected as a worker. No, it means you've got no protections as a worker.
Yeah, it means sorry. But what it means is you don't have to join a union to work. Is basically what it means. So that's why they say right to work.
Well, see, but that for us that is like, is it a closed shop or here's the thing, like in New York State, New York State is not closed shop. However, if there's a union, you don't have to be a part of it, but you still got to pay the amount of dues that would not go toward political whatever. Go to political action committees and stuff. So you would have to pay the monies that would go to maybe your health and welfare fund and negotiations, but you could withhold the amount that would go towards supporting the Democratic or the Republican parties or candidates.
Yeah.
Or that stuff. So New York's a little weird about that.
Right. Yeah, I so yeah, we cover this in different directions because I'm in a Texas is a huge work to right to work state. You're in a which is a huge not right to work state. But like you said, it's a misnomer. All right to work means is that you don't have to join a union or pay union dues to get a job with certain industries. In New York, that's huge. You have lots of unions in New York that that do your thing. In Texas, they have unions like, for instance, my brother Robert is in the he works for American Airlines, whatever the baggage handlers union. He's in that union. That is a federal union. Or I think they say federal because it's based across all airlines. So that union is allowed to operate in Texas. But Robert does not have to pay dues if he doesn't want to, because of the way it's set up, because of the way the right to work state is set up. He does not have to pay dues. Now there's ways of retaliating against you if you don't pay dues. So he does pay his dues.
Right.
Because unions. I mean, look, unions can help you. Unions aren't bad or good. They're just a tool, right? I mean, it depends if your union's corrupt or not. So the corrupt unions are terrible because then you have guys like, Hoffa and them who are sticking money in their back pocket and not really helping the unions too much. Which is why he's in a cornfield in Missouri somewhere, But yeah, this is going to be very interesting because they, like I said, I think their choices are bad and worse. Because I don't think they're the end game, but they're going to be crushed on the way to the end game, right? I don't think they're the end game, but they're going to be crushed.
Oh no, they're just this is the foot in the door. This is getting that open just a crack, and then moving in from there. Because when I saw the CWA was involved, I was like, this is not a small parent union. And they're not going to waste their time on a 30-person union unless they got much
There's a
higher
something bigger, yes.
And I'll be honest with you, whoever's organizing for Paizo knows not everything, but they know that they're just a stepping stone,
right.
and they're happy with it because they're going to get the support of the CWA in their negotiations.
And look, I'm not the biggest union guy out there, but Paizo is example one why you need a union because they have treated their employees horribly. And with this guy Solomon Kane, I don't know who you are in real life. Let's hope WotC does the same. I look for the unionization movement as abusive WotC Detroit. I know some people work at WotC who don't have any problem there. They don't have the same kinds of problems. Let's put it that way. They may have other problems, but they don't have these problems.
Right.
I know some people that very happily work at WotC, full-time jobs, and they don't have these kind of issues. They're not management either; they're regular workers. Paizo is a number one example of why unions should exist, because they're treating their employees very badly while upper management's making a shitload of money.
Well, here's another way to look at it. Since we're bringing this up, Paizo's in Washington State. They're in Seattle, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
WotC is in Seattle,
but WotC also has offices in other places. They're not. Somebody told me they're not based in Seattle.
Oh, they're not incorporated in Seattle?
But they're not based in Seattle. They're based where Hasbro is. And I believe Hasbro might be in New York, Michigan. I'm not sure.
See, corporate law becomes confusing because it becomes is Wizards of the Coast a wholly owned entity, or are they simply a part of?
I had somebody tell me that may or may not have been a lawyer that we know, that they would be totally different because they're not necessarily 100% based. Because for one thing, they don't make their employees live in Washington State.
Right. Okay.
They have an office there, but they don't have the headquarters. Hasbro headquarters is someplace else. And so they are not wedded to Washington as Paizo is. WotC's the goal. Positive test case. Once WotC's unionized, they'll go for drive-through only. Solomon, I mean, I don't know. Maybe you know, you're in more inside. Most people I know that work at WotC are very happy with their job, but I don't know. Like I said, I only know a few people. I only know a couple of people who are very happy with their job at WotC. So I think it's a totally different situation with Paizo. We've seen almost universally employees for Paizo come out and say they were very unhappy in their job. And that they like working in gaming. They loved working there. They loved the people, but all the conditions were terrible. Were absolutely awful. I don't see the same things being said about WotC, but I only know my limited.
But here's the thing too. If they're coming, and again, this is I'm talking out of my ass, but if Paizo's union of actual salaried employees is also at the same time the majority of their effective freelancers, right, who are actually doing a job action right now unofficially, but besides the point. So if you acknowledge the union, are you then in effect acknowledging that these freelancers are covered under the union even when they're not doing union work?
I'm gonna suggest something I don't usually suggest for our show. We're so far talking out of our ass now because we might have to have the unofficial lawyer of the show come on, or somebody in who's like that person, because we're absolutely talking over our ass. But this is what this show is, right? This is all speculation. We're saying this,
right? Well, the only reason I'm talking about freelancers is because freelancers or contract workers are what this industry survives off of. Computer gaming, console gaming, they're all contract workers. Now, technically, all actors are individual contract workers, right? They're all they got their SAG card.
They all join SAG, yeah. They get their SAG card.
So now, is that, again, we don't know, but is that the end goal? Interesting thought.
We don't know. We really don't know. This is absolute speculation based on articles we've read and people we've talked to in the last few days. But somebody could roll along here and tell us that happy WotC employees are still communists. Past freelancers have stabbed him in the back. Whoa. Maybe this is it. Maybe this guy knows inside stuff we don't know. But I like I said, I just know what I know, and I know people work for WotC and they're perfectly happy. And remember, WotC. How big do you think the gaming there is compared to the Magic department? The Magic department's probably huge. I mean, we're talking 3 to 5 times bigger the people working on the actual games. Magic is where they make their money. Let's not forget that. So, would they try to get the Magic card people involved? I mean, they'd have to. Yeah, I mean, would they have to? I mean, what's Hasbro's stand on utilization? I don't know. I have no clue what Hasbro is doing. What would you, But yes, we absolutely agree. There is a end game here that's not Paizo. It's bigger than Paizo, much bigger than Paizo.
And Paizo could be sacrificed in the end. You could get the union and
it may go out of. This isn't 100% certain they wouldn't go out of business. I mean, I think they're still making money, but they're not making the money they were making 7 years ago. They're Paizo 2.0 or Pathfinder 2.0 has not been the giant hit that Pathfinder 1.0 is.
Right.
I don't know what their margins. I have no clue what their margins are. I have no insight in this. So I don't know how much they can afford to give freelancers or employees.
And the Pathfinder MMO was a huge money sink. Any profits they had over prior years got sunk into the Pathfinder MMO. And again, talking rumors, I don't have paperwork that can back this up. I just have industry rumors. Is that at one point Lisa Stevens was making payroll out of her personal checking account?
Yes, that was when the MMO was really crash landing badly.
So if the company's recovered enough that they can actually make regular payroll, there might not be enough in there to do much more than they're doing now. The idea that
this is another thing, Eric. Remember this when these kind of actions get done, they also want to take a look at the books.
Yeah,
and this is what happened because they want to see what's Vic making, what is Lisa making, because that will prove their case. So that's another reason you do this is you get inside and see the books, and this all gets laid out. And you're like, whoa, they're making that much? Holy crap! Yeah, they need to share.
Yeah.
Or it comes out that, oh man, their margins are razor thin. We didn't know that. That's awful. I can't tell you. This is like a dog park on a sunny day. There must be 18 flies flying around me. This is
They
horrible.
like the mic.
Oh, I gotta go to the store and get like a fly killer thing. Got one.
What you need, Mike, is one of those bug zappers. Like the electric fly spotter. I could just see
over the booth.
Yeah, over the booth.
Oh,
and people becoming like, I hold forth my fly swatter Excalibur.
Oh, they're all. God, I don't know why there's. Well, there's nobody in here but me at this point. It's pretty dead. I'll tell you here. We got it's getting set up. They're pretty dead, so they've focused on me as their happy.
You're warm.
Yes, I'm warm and alive. So that's what we're working at here. That's why they're all over me, I guess.
I don't know.
Great. Looks really nice. I mean, they got some nice setups here, man.
Oh, they always have a nice setup at GameHole.
Oh yeah, this is some good stuff. I may walk around, maybe about 20 minutes or so. I'll walk around and look at some stuff.
Tomb of Tom is talking about Faden flies.
Yeah, Faden is. He has a feud with Alyssa Faden. They have their funny little feud they have. So yes, Tom. I don't know if you know, Faden is not coming. She had to cancel, personal reasons. So Faden will not be here. So if you're saying she's near, maybe you know something I don't know. That kind of scares me. The thought that she might be around. Because she's not supposed to be here. Fly tape.
You gotta get your fly tape, Mike.
I've killed 2, and I've still got like 7. I mean, this is a losing battle. I'm fighting an absolute losing battle here. But anyway, so there, like I said, I don't know if did you read the Wired article yet?
I did not know about it until you mentioned it.
Wired. It's written by our friend Cecilia.
Cecilia, you're breaking my heart.
Remember your buddy that wanted to get your comments on that story?
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Because Tenkar apparently called Gail a C word. No. I joked. She would trademark the word if she could. There's a difference in that.
Cecilia Anastasio, I think her name is.
Yes, Anastasia or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, she's got a hard on for Eric. She does not like Eric very much because Eric, she asked him to comment on some stuff, and instead of commenting, he posted her questions on his blog, which is the best thing to do because, that's what you do. Because Eric learned from working in the New York Police Department that you never talk to reporters.
Nope.
There's no good end game. There's zero good end game.
So.
Yeah. So yes, she tried to get him to comment on a story once.
Oh, she was so pissed at me.
He blew her off. Yeah.
And then her friends, her followers online started trolling my blog for about a week.
Yeah, they got bored pretty quick. They were gone.
Yeah, no, they didn't last very long. But I did find it amusing, and I mean, I got the better of a reporter. So it's like Mike got the better of a fly.
It's like they say, you don't play. Look, to win the game, you don't play. Right? That's how you win the game. You don't play because you can't trust any. Look, anything off the record. When they say off the record,
it's not off the record.
You don't know. I mean, their editor might say, "No, we're not going to do this off the record." Well, they promise you off the record. Well, that promise means nothing.
Right.
Their editor might decide, "Nope, we need this guy on the record."
And her questions were like leading questions. It wasn't a question of here. I'm throwing this question out at you. It's all, I want you to deny something. And then if you deny it, I'm just going to say, I don't believe you. Well, how about I explain it? Which is not going to fall into your narrative. No, because you're not going to go with my explanation. I know how it works. I've seen it.
Yeah.
And I've watched better people than me, at higher ranks than me, get stupid enough to think they could outsmart.
Oh yeah.
And play the game.
Ooh.
No. I just happen to have the ability to get her questions out there publicly and say, hey, these are the questions that she'd like answers to.
The people, the way they think about outsmart is like, I'm going to record the interview too. They don't care. Go ahead and record the interview too. Guess what you don't have? You don't have the bully pulpit of being a reporter. So they can say what they want. But wait, no, I didn't say that. Come to my little tiny blog over here and listen to what I really said. No, it's too late. You've already been branded.
Right, but my bully pulpit was large enough to get her upset. So that to me was a little personal satisfaction. Imagine if I'd had this YouTube channel at the time. Oh my god!
Oh, that'd been great. We'd had an hour-long session on her. That'd been awesome. Well, anyway,
Yeah,
but so she wrote. So go look in Wired magazine. She wrote a column on it. It's honestly, I thought it was interesting. It's really more about Watsy than it is about Paizo, because I think
really.
she sees where this is heading too. And it was really more about the stuff going on Paizo. They talked about Orion Black, who, as we know, had some big issues with Paizo last. I'm sorry, with Watsy last. Was it last year? Has it already
Yeah.
been that long? Wow. He accused him of tokenism and some other things, and so yeah, she talked about that a little bit. But yeah, there's some interesting facts. That's where I got the fact that they said that most of the people that work there, they talked off the record. They said they made between $33,000 and $40,000 a year, which is mind blowing.
That is
They're saying
how you can survive in Seattle.
you can't. You can't. That's why they have to also do freelance work to make up for the salary they're not getting.
But now,
which is ludicrous.
Right, but now I'm going to make another argument, and this is not going to be well received by certain people out there. But if you're taking a job with Paizo or any company, all right, especially telling you Paizo, you're not taking the job because of what they pay.
Mm-hmm.
You're taking it because your dream, your whole life, has been to work for a fucking game company, and you would have worked there for fucking Cheerios and old milk.
That's what they count on. They definitely count on that. Yes.
You know, so that's what they're counting on.
That you're working in games, dude. And, you know, used to do that a long time ago was comic books. Comic books used to pay terrible in the 70s and 60s. It was like, man, you're working on comic books. Now, once the 80s came around and artists started realizing, hey, I'm working on X-Men. X-Men's selling, 8 million copies. I want a piece of the action. That's when things changed in comics, but that has not changed in gaming. But if you want to make money in gaming, you go independent and you become like Monty Cook and you start your own brand and you start making a lot of money. But for the most part, yes, you're not going to make. Look, there's literally, I'm not kidding you. There's like 5 people that make money in gaming. When I say make money, I mean big money.
Right.
Other than that, there's not. Everybody below them does not make big money in gaming. You do it for the love of the game. You really do.
I mean, I get to do what I do because I have a pension. I am retired. I can put the time and the effort into it. If I was still working, I don't believe that you'd be seeing much out of me except for some regular blog posts that I could squeeze in on my lunchtime. Because
very few people that work at game companies do it full time, Eric. I mean, really. We know a lot of people that work in the gaming industry, and we can count on maybe one hand the people who do it full time. Really, but there's just not that many.
Yeah,
they all have.
I know 1 or 2 others that could work full time in the gaming industry, but can't leave their regular job because health insurance reasons.
Sure, yeah.
Because a lot of times you might have a job that doesn't pay great, but the health insurance is good, and that makes that has value right there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, but you got to make up for that if you take, if you're going to be a freelancer full time and you're going to make money off it, and again, people can do it. You got to hustle. You can't have writer's block. You got to be consistent, and you're only as good as your last project.
And we know a lot of guys out there like that do pretty. I mean, like our buddy Greg Gillespie, he's a college professor, but he writes games on the side also.
Right.
All these guys have different. They have a regular job, and then one of the things they do is their passion is gaming. And so yes, They make a little money in gaming, but they don't make a living in gaming. They make some extra cash.
A lot of times. Listen, my good friend James Bond. He writes a lot. He works full time, but he says what he makes in gaming allows his wife to be a stay-at-home mom.
Right.
That is so. Then I guess you could say he's making enough for somebody to stay home. So I guess it's full time in gaming. But you got to make your choices. If you're working at Paizo, all right, for $35,000 a year, and you're in your 30s, and that's the career you chose, then I'm sorry, I don't have sympathies for you. Okay,
Well,
there are better jobs out there
and
if you
that's why those
apply for
guys.
them.
That's why they leave because I mean, Crystal Frazier left, Jessica Proud, all these people left.
Yeah,
Owen K. Stevens left. They leave because, and eventually they get tired of not making any money, and they either go out of gaming to something else, or they go independent because you can do if you are on the ball like you said, and you know how to do a Kickstarter, and you know what to do if you're Monty, like Monty Cook has done, you can make decent money. Now we're not telling you're not going to be able to buy a Corvette or anything, brand new, but
right.
you're going to be able to do okay. And if your spouse works also, yeah, let's call it your full time job then. But there's not a lot of those people. They're not. I mean, I'm thinking about people I know that work in gaming, and there's just very few. And we're talking even people that have been in gaming for 20, 30, 40 years. I mean, look, the history of TSR. Half those guys that left in the '80s went on to work at Coleco and and Amiga and Atari, and that's what Janelle Jaquays did, and Alan Hammock and Lawrence Schick and all those guys. They went on to work in the video game industry because that's where the money was. There was money for them at TSR or in the role playing game industry.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
What time you close?
9-ish, 9:30.
Okay, we'll be through. I just was told that we're going to close at about 9, so we'll cut it about 10 minutes short.
Yeah.
If that's okay with you, Eric.
yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah, but
Sounds good.
I mean, there's really nobody in here anymore, so we'll do another 25 minutes or so, and then we'll roll out of here. But I don't know what else I have to say on that. Like I said, we're talking out of our ass. We might need to get somebody on the show that they can give us some better information and talk about the gig economy more, or talk about what the rights the Paizo people have, because I think the story's fascinating, Eric. This is a sea change going on in our industry right here.
Oh,
This is interesting.
definitely. And the point has been made. At what point does this literally hit like all freelancers? Again,
Yeah.
there's a reason why Paizo was targeted, and there's a reason why, and I think it is because their freelancers happen to be their staff, and that's going to muddy the waters.
And they're very unhappy, and they're they're obviously very
they're unhappy, but it muddies the waters. And now,
Yeah.
if the industry becomes something like the Screen Actors Guild, where you got to pay $100 a year to sell your products at drive-through, or to work with any of the major publishers, then the unions start getting their foot in. I don't know what the end game is, but it's likely not going to benefit the community.
Here's what's scary. So if you take it to the bad end of it, what happens? Let's say if they unionize a few shops there, and then they go to drive-through and say, you have to be union to get something published on drive-through, or if you're not union, you can't get this little symbol next to your POD or your
Right.
thing that says you're union, and that tells people right off the bat, oh, this guy's not union over here. I don't want to spend any money downloading his drive-through dungeon. That's where it gets scary, I guess, if it got that far, is that they could go on a place like that and cut out the income of these independent guys, that do make a living on places like drive.
Here's something, and I haven't gotten a chance to write about this, but one of the taverners sent me this. Just like you have the DMs Guild, Paizo is going to be kicking off their own version of the DMs Guild,
right,
on
true.
drive-through.
Yes.
So now,
Yes.
if you somehow, if you're going to participate in this program, you've got to have your Paizo workers card.
Right. Oh yeah. I mean, that could easily happen. Or like I said, let's say you're a freelance gig worker in the RPG industry. What if they stop hiring freelance gig workers? No. You got to work for the blah 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 union to get a freelance gig with Paizo or WotC or
Right.
or Green Ronin or Frog. I mean, anything. I mean, yeah. There's some. That's what I'm saying. This is just so interesting because it's going to be interesting to see what happens, because you're right. It could affect everything in the gaming industry right now.
Because a lot of people, when they first saw this pop up last week, they're like, Oh, come on, it's Paizo. It's 30
It
some odd
doesn't
disgruntled
affect
fuck.
us. Yeah, it doesn't affect us.
Doesn't affect us. But especially showing with that article that your freelancers, and again, it's the 40 most efficient, most skilled, most productive freelancers. In other words, the 30 fucking employees plus a handful of
Right.
others that are withholding work. And it's like, oh, well, I'm supposed to submit this to myself. I guess I won't. I mean, or now that they have a union, now the union is recognized, it's like, well, my freelance work now is covered by my union rights. What?
Yeah, yeah,
Well, why
It-
wouldn't it be?
yep. It's gonna be strange, man. It's gonna be so. I mean, I like to say it's gonna be delicious, but I'll tell you what. I'll tell you something else that's gonna happen. Prices of books are gonna go up, and here's
Yes.
why: because Paizo prices are gonna go up. If this union goes through, it's a fait accompli. Their prices will go up because they're going to look. Nobody takes less profit in any industry. They don't
Nope.
take less profit. They just charge more for what they have. No matter what Jim Basaki says, because I noticed she said that the other day. I thought it was ridiculous. That I can't understand why these people are charging more. When this and this. Well, of course, people are not going to take less profit. They're just going to charge you more and make you pay more. Well, Pathfinder or Paizo books go up, and you know what? Other people books might go up too. Because if let's say your average hardback is $36, if they raise it to 40, you know who's going to be looking at that? Other companies.
Yeah.
Hey, these guys are willing to pay $40 for a hardback. Why are we leaving money on the table?
But not only that,
You're gonna see higher prices. You will definitely see higher prices.
and on top of it, we already have the supply chain issues, which are
Right.
affecting local printers too. So it
Ve-
isn't just
right.
printing from China. You can
Yep.
print in the US, and if nothing else, printing prices have gone up.
You got
Like,
paper. Yeah, you got paper shortages right now. You got paper, and that's affecting everybody because you're like, oh, it's not affecting my local guy. Well, it's the chain. It's the chain, right? The supply chain. Yes, and so that's the problem. It's supply chain. And I tell you what, and Solomon, can you make a good point? Thankfully, I don't buy pies. I buy OSR. One of the great things about our hobby, Eric, is I have all the game books I have right now that I'll ever need in my entire
oh,
life.
more than I'll ever need.
Yeah. And so if prices go up, you know what? I just won't buy it anymore. And I'll be going, darn. I'm sitting. Tom says Mike Zach is being mean to me on Facebook. I will settle up with him, Tom. I am sorry about that. But
They'll snuggle up tonight.
I will not. I just won't buy more stuff. I mean, I know it sounds terrible, or you know what I might do? Buy PDFs instead, and say, I don't really need Dead Tree copies anymore. I might just buy a PDF.
Yeah,
So it will affect it might affect my buying habits in a big way. You never know.
definitely. It's an interesting take on it.
But yeah, I think that's definitely in the wind. I think, but prices might go up anyway with all this. That's one thing we didn't talk about this week that is getting huge now. Are these shortages of everything, and it all goes back to China, obviously, and the COVID, and the fact that they didn't ship stuff for a while, and now we're trying to get back stock of things. We still don't have computer chips. Something that we've been looking. I mean, you can't get car. I don't know if you've been to a car lot. We both told stories about cars.
I got my car 2 weeks ago. I got my car, but when I went the prior week, and I was like, because you look at the website, this is all in stock, and you get there, every car at the dealer has a sold tag on it, and they're like, "Oh, well, you like that? Well, we'll have a 2022 for you." And it's like it's going to be December or January. And I was like, "Shit!"
Yep.
But I need a new car, so it's like, "All right, so we'll do it." And then that was on a Thursday. Saturday morning, I get a phone call, and I recognize the number because I similar number to my service when I bring my car in, and it's my Subaru dealer. I'm like, hello, and it's like, yeah, Eric, it's Sergey. You still want that car? I'm like, I mean the one that was the sample that had like 8 miles on it, like I'm like,
Uh-huh.
but it was a floor model. I'm like, yeah, why? He goes, the person that was getting it, their financing fell through.
Ooh, so you
I'm like,
lucked out.
Yeah,
Damn.
so I go, but I wanted it with certain packages, like the auto dimming mirrors, which I agreed for, and so it wasn't going to be ready until Wednesday or Thursday. So I was like, oh, that's fine. I'll come in Thursday, and we got the deed and got it done. But he showed me my order would have come in late December. He showed
Yep.
me where I was in the stack,
Wow.
late December. So, and he was like, people, he goes, at the moment a car comes in, it goes out because it was already ordered by somebody. So he goes, I just happened to time it right. And it was the same salesperson I had 8 years ago, and the same one my parents go to. So he kind of knew us. So it
Well,
kind
my
of
wife was she decided this year she wanted to buy a car because I sold my car and bought her old car, and so we went and looked in March, and I had been hearing about these supply chain problems, and I've been trying to get an Xbox X for the whole year now. They sell out immediately. You can't get an Xbox X, and I really want an Xbox X. So I told her, I said, they're having this huge computer chip problem, honey. You better, if you're going to buy something, you better buy it quick. So we went to the lot. She looked around. She found one that was red, a red Kia that's the color she wanted, and I got the glory here because I told her you need to buy that today. And she never listens to me because my wife is smarter than me, frankly. But she did that day. She bought it. We came back 2 weeks later. I kid you not, Eric. There were 2 Kias in the entire parking lot. We're talking
wow.
like empty parking spaces. There were 2 Kias. They were not going to get another shipment. This is March. Not going to get another shipment until May. And they said,
Wow.
there's no red Kias in there. And we were just like, wow, what's going to happen to the sales and stuff? They said, oh, we'll put them to work, doing stuff around the lot, but we may have to let some of them go because there's nothing being sold right now.
Right.
And so we went. So that was 2 weeks, like about 2 weeks after she bought the car. We went by 2 months later, Eric. There was no cars in the parking lot, but the used lot had a bunch. So they were buying people's used cars. And we asked the salesman, like, well, how did this happen? They said, we're buying used cars and giving them credits on future cars.
Wow.
That's how little cars they had in there. And so this is a real issue, absolutely real issue. And so you're very lucky to get that car, I think.
Oh, I knew it. I
Very
was like, holy shit. Which is the reason why Rach and I went up to the Pocono. I was like 2 days later. It's like, we got a car. We're going to enjoy it.
Let's party. Yeah, let's drive. Let's drive in our new car. But we know we were very lucky to get that in. And it's not just computer chips. It's paper. It's books. I mean, there's a lot of books. I probably can't go into too many details. We've got some books stuck in China right now. Frog God. We're using local printers from probably for the near future because we want to make sure this stuff is going to get out. And we're worried about China. How long they're taking. I mean, they're doing. It's not like they're trying to screw you. It's just that they're just having to take so much longer to get everything out. It's a domino effect. Everything gets a little longer. It gets put to the back of the line, back of the line. It just keeps happening. And after a while, you're like, when am I going to get my thing in? Well, you said it was going to be 2 months. Well, guess what? Now it's suddenly 8 months, and it's kind of as long as it's not food, you don't worry about it as much. But when it starts becoming food and gas and things that you need to live on, right now it's just Xboxes and
it's luxury items,
and stuff like that. But
non-essentials, maybe not luxuries, but they're certainly not they're non-essentials. But once
everybody remembers last year when you couldn't get toilet paper or paper towels for a while. I mean, it's absolutely these supply issues are real, and they're gonna start affecting.
Yeah.
Look, Kickstarter put that warning out. Kickstarter put a letter out that said, "Look, your Kickstarters are going to be late." I mean, and that's amazing. They admitted that.
Kickstarter no ifs, ands, or buts.
No, they said I think you and I speculated about that. They're getting chargebacks on these things now, and so they were trying to head that off and say, "Please don't charge back your Kickstarter because you'll eventually get it. It's just that everything is in the pipeline. It's all going to be late."
Yeah.
And Chris is right. Chris Dodgel, supply chain management is literally a field of study these days, like master's degree stuff. Yes, that is very true. And right now, our supply chain's a little shaky, unfortunately.
Again, even stuff that's being printed in the U.S. I think Maxim is still delivering with their normal turnaround, but they've gone up in price.
Yeah,
that's what I've been told. And Other printers have,
I'm paying more for supply. I mean, because I have my own business where I ship
right.
stuff. I'm paying more for supplies. I'm paying more. The United States Postal Service. They just had their holiday rates go into effect October 1st, which is
Oh,
about a dollar more a package. It's close to a dollar more a package.
really?
I
Jeez.
mean, yeah, that I'm doing. My stuff is costing more to mail. Tapes more, packaging's more, everything. It's all more. It's all part of the system. I agree with Chris. Buy local, support your small time RPG writers. Absolutely, and you're probably going to get your product a long time before the bigger guys too.
Yeah, they can print
I mean,
local.
WotC just put a hold on their products to the end of the year, right?
Well, they announced that some projects were going to be like 3 to 6 weeks late. Others were being punted to 2022. So things that were going to come out in time, just in time for the Christmas holidays.
Yeah.
Now I guess you're going to be going to Amazon and printing out like an IOU. Here, this comes in January.
That's why it's good to always be a little bit behind the curve because look, stuff. If I wanted to buy something from WotC, I haven't bought anything in like 5 years, so I could buy something.
Yeah.
I could buy Tomb of Annihilation, and that'd be brand new to me. So. As long as beer doesn't get backlogged or booze, that would be a tough one.
Oh, that would be rough. Although I do have a little stockpile of the hop tea, which is beer-like without the carbs, without the calories. I can't find
enough whiskey to last me a while.
I need more whiskey. I got, and I'm going through my wine, but I need more. I need more whiskey. I've been watching whiskey on the YouTube, whiskey tastings, and now it makes me really want to buy some good whiskey.
I tell you what you do what I did. So you know what would be fun for you to do? Go, see if you can buy some New York whiskeys. I have really gotten to buying Texas whiskeys, and I have been really enjoying it because there's a lot of Texas whiskeys out there now. Now I don't know what the scene is like in the Northeast, but maybe see around and see if there's any whiskey makers in New York or just area. And just check it out.
New York has wine, but I don't know how we are with whiskey. But I'll have to check into that.
Surprised.
Whiskey is good because it's good. It doesn't raise the blood sugar, and now that I have my Freestyle Libre 2 has an app, I can now just take my phone.
I love those. Yeah, I had one of those. It was great. My insurance stopped covering it, of course.
Oh, well, that sucks.
I loved it. I loved it. I had it for about a year. They said your insurance doesn't cover this anymore, so I'm back to finger sticks. But yeah, I love that Freestyle Libre. That's awesome.
Yeah. So the Libre 2 will actually send an alarm if you go too low or too high.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
So nothing better than sleeping and having your wife shake you. Like, I think
your alarm's going off.
She's like, I think your blood sugar is low, and then you look at it, it's like, it's 68. That's low, right? Like, when it gets to 50, it'll go off again. So I get to 50, then I'll get up.
I'll wait till I almost pass out and die.
Yeah. Unless I'm really there, I'm gonna. You learn the tricks. Like, listen, all I gotta do is sit up for 2 minutes. My blood sugar will go up by about 20 points, and then I can lay down again.
Man, we're old and
baby. It's like your body goes, oh my God, you're gonna get up and do something. Well, you need blood. You need more sugar in your blood. I tricked you. Now I'm right back to fucking sleep. I should do that in
Zach's younger than me, and I've been doing this now for I don't know how many years, going to cons, and I'm 58 years old, and it's a lot different when I was 51. I'll tell you that. I mean,
dude, I'm sure.
It's just there's things I could do back then I just can't do now, or I do, and it's a lot harder.
Yeah. Believe me. Listen, I'm actually kind of thankful I'm not at the con because I probably would have been asked to hang shit up, and I can't lift my left arm beyond like this angle.
Right.
Because it's stenosis. So it's like, I'd be like, somebody else, please. I can't do it. I'm an old piece.
I can sit at the booth now and sell things. I don't know. I don't like the setup and moving stuff. I don't like moving the big boxes anymore or having to just pile the books over here. No, wait, they go over here. No, wait, let's put them over here. Oh.
I was like, we got to put them all underneath the table. Now we're really old men bitching. I gotta put them under the table. Then I gotta pick them up from under the table. You know what it's like with my hernia and my sciatica.
The gout. I've got the gout.
The gout is killing me.
Oh.
So in a week and a half, the night before Halloween, we're going to be doing the Tenkar does yoga in loud yoga outfit.
That's gonna be something.
Hey, listen, we're going to be looking for pledges for St. Jude's. It's kind of be like an honor system because I'm not going to ask you to send money to me. We'll have a link set up, and it's going to people go, yeah, I'll send 100. I'll take your word for it because nobody would screw with a wonderful place like St. Jude's.
No, it's not St. Jude's. No.
So then, it's like we already have the furry cuffs, and a headband in pink.
Oh my God. Yeah, this is must see TV, folks.
It's going to be must see TV, and my niece Shannon is going to be in charge
of the
this is on a
Saturday night.
Yeah, Saturday night.
Oh,
and my niece.
You know what? I'll tell you what sucks is I'm going to be at a Halloween party that night. I can't watch it live.
You're gonna have to watch the recording.
I'll watch the recording because I will be at a Halloween party and I cannot watch this live.
Yeah, so Shannon's gonna be in charge of all the communication, and then she's like, "But so, Uncle, if somebody says they're gonna pledge money if you do something stupid, do I tell you?" I'm like, "Of course." She's like, "Yes."
The stupider, the better. Believe me, I may have to log in at the party I'm at just so I can throw something in there.
David, Joe will be so excited. Joe is the reason this all happened. And
yes, he's the instigator. He really is.
He's the instigator. But listen, when it comes to a good cause, I have no self-respect. So I'm willing to give it my all. Rach, however, will be literally breaking me in the days prior to make sure.
All I want to know is, are we going to have downward facing dog?
I don't know. I'll be doing stuff from a chair. So they will be modified positions, but I will still be dressed like a fool. So.
Oh, this is going to be beautiful.
Yes.
This is so beautiful.
So we might actually do it with 2 cameras.
I can tell you this on the show. I don't know if you have anything planned for next Wednesday, but I bumped into a friend of ours named Levi Combs, who has a Kickstarter going on now.
Levi shall be joining us, I guess, next Wednesday.
And I said, what would you feel like about
next
next Wednesday? And he said, I'm free.
Well, then he's free.
So I said, this is awesome because this is why I'm coming to the con, man. I want to be able to talk to people and see people. So I think it looks like we're going to have Levi on next week. We love Levi. Levi's an awesome guest.
So now, Mike, this is the important part. So before we can actually take sponsorship, we have to have an email or PayPal address where people can send the monies to. Are we closer to that?
Yes. Gary is setting something up right now. We are talking to Ty Beard, who is very gratefully given his time to help us set up some legal things that will get this done. I can't be more specific than that.
No, that's fine. No. I would like, because we do have people who are anxious.
I know.
And I would take their money, but I don't want to take their money directly. I want the money to go directly where it needs to.
We will very soon have this where you were able to donate money to the for the North Texas for the con.
Awesome.
Which is great. Or for sponsorship, and that'll help out the con. And me, I thought, I'm supposed to be getting a pair
of
headphones too.
Well, you're gonna get that's coming. That's gonna come from the AdSense monies. So now that we're monetized,
nice.
Here, not to give out any big secrets, folks, but here I'll give out a secret. So we've been monetized almost exactly for a month, and we've raised $70.41 in that month. It's not. Is it huge? No, but is it going to be enough to get Mike new headset?
We haven't really tried yet. We haven't even tried yet.
Right. So I mean, I personally think that we're doing very well. I can't complain whatsoever. But like I said, the money that we raised from the actual YouTube advertising, or from people at like we didn't monetize this stream, but we do monetize the stream, and you do a super chat. That money will go towards, like I said, Mike's new headset, probably a new headset for Glenn, and whatever other updates. Maybe a nice microphone for Mike, so Mike can,
Ooh, yeah, because I'm using really. I'm seat of the pants as you can get here, folks.
Oliver, did you miss the TSR bashing first hour?
You did. Unfortunately, that was we led with that.
We led with that one because you know what? It wrote itself. It really wrote itself.
But that's why this is on YouTube. You can play it later. It's awesome. You can play it.
Yeah.
Put it in your car when you're driving somewhere. You got 2 hours of entertainment here.
Well, listen. If when you rewatch this, or you watch this later, or if you're watching this later, leave a comment. And not just because Mike and I like your comments, but your comments do help the channel, help other people find us later. So thumbs up is always great. Subscriptions are awesome, but your comments at the end are great.
I'm gonna while we still got a few more minutes here. I'm gonna walk out here so you can see kind of what it looks like here, because it looks like the carpet cleaning machine's getting closer, and you won't be able to hear me once it gets here. So we're gonna walk out here a little ways and
wash Mike away.
There's some really cool stuff out here. We're gonna look at a couple of these vendors here. Here's Noble Knight. You may have heard of Noble Knight Games. They have their own booth here, and they're selling older. They usually sell older game stuff. Doug Kovacs, our buddy Doug Kovacs, who works for Goodman Games. He's got a lot of his stuff set up here. Wow.
Yeah, he's always got a great setup.
He is actually a very affordable artist if you buy some of his portfolio. I may finally spring for some of this stuff because he has some great stuff. He really does.
I have a number of Doug's original.
Show you out here. They got something pretty cool up front here. I don't know who built this or who made this. Oh, dropped my Coke here. Hold on. But
Oliver,
this is pretty cool.
Yes, go rewatch this from the beginning. The first, I don't know, 50 minutes, 55 minutes. It's Mike and I talking about the TSR con and other. What the fuck?
They have a giant beholder in here. Creepy. It's a good. You know what though? It's going to be great to take pictures in front of that. I think that's a great idea for them.
Oh my god! Yeah, dude.
Awesome. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I have to ask Alex about that. Who did that? But that's pretty cool stuff, man. They did a good job. I swear to God, this fly is following me out of the building. He's in love. He's absolutely in love.
Should be. It's my work spouse. Come on.
Eric's been here, and so this is the big giant lobby area. And see how far.
Oh God, man, I'm having flashbacks.
Oh, I know.
I should be there.
We're actually closer to the hallway that leads to the hotel. We're actually very close because it's right here. That's what it looks like. So if you're in the area, GameHole Con, dealer hours, the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If you're in the area, definitely it's worth coming to. It really is. It's a great con.
Listen, it's a convention that it literally pains me not to be there.
I know you want to be here. I know. But, it is a great con, and the weather is absolutely perfect. There's no reason not to come if you're worried about weather in Wisconsin in October. Do not worry.
It's been miserable in the past. I will say that.
Oh, it has. You remember we came here like you were here when we had that ice storm. Remember that?
Yes, that was my first year.
Gosh.
That was my first year, and we walked over to the fucking restaurant in sleet. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, the whole place was frozen. I mean, you go out to the food trucks and there's like ice everywhere. I mean, everything's covered with like an inch of snow and ice. So that was crazy that year. That was absolutely crazy.
Yeah. And I didn't.
I'm taking the long, scary.
I wore a fleece jacket.
This is the long, scary walk back to the hotel. It's usually not scary. I don't know why the lights aren't on, but I've seen this movie and it doesn't work out good for me. This movie is not a good movie.
You got to put the phone up to your face, Mike, and you got to get going light. Like, no.
I am so. What is it? What was that? Witch Project. I am so sorry.
Oh, yeah, the Blair Witch Project.
I am so sorry. Yes, but it's a long walk to the hotel. The Clarion is actually attached, and so we take a little walk up there. And great stuff.
I'm just not even gonna.
Oh no! Oh boy! So, here, look who we have here. We have the world famous Skeeter Green.
Hey, Skeet!
In the hallway, and we have his son here. And we have Jen.
Oh my
Northwest
gosh.
Jen.
Yeah. Hey, Eric.
Wow.
Hey,
you never
hey.
know who you're gonna run into. We're doing our show live right now. You know, you might learn a few tricks from us. We got a lot of subscribers. It's kind of cool.
All right, here we go.
No, we don't want to see that. Love you guys. All right. Yeah, you never know who you're gonna run into. Here.
No. Skeeter's
Skeeter
growing
made
a porn stash now?
It was going to be. That's why I'm walking away quickly.
I was like, Skeeter's mustache looks like somebody from NYPD, 1970.
Oh, no. We're walking. We don't need that in the show. We curse enough. We don't really need any other red flags, do we?
No. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
All right. So we take this. It's a long walk. It's connected. That's why we stay in the Clarion. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not the nicest hotel,
But the
but
staff
it
is
is
awesome.
connected. You don't
And
have
the
to go
staff is
anywhere
nice.
else. It's connected. So
we actually had a suite that I had to cancel because
no,
yeah.
that's too bad.
Yeah.
Golly. So let me see. All right, so we're gonna go. So the hotel is here. We may run into another luminary here. You never know. I don't know what's gonna be going on.
Neither the luminary.
So we're in the hotel now. It's quiet here. We don't want to talk too loud and ruin somebody's game.
Quiet. We're hunting rabbits.
Yeah, all the rooms are set up here. They've got them all set up. Lights are off here. They got a lot of rooms in the hotel too. That's one good thing about this Alex's convention. There's so much room to game. He's got the whole convention center now. But remember, we first started coming here, he would only rent out like half the place.
Right.
And so now they have the whole convention center, which is great. It works out really well. Let's see. We're gonna go here into the lounge, and we'll see if we find any luminaries. And then I'll probably let you go after we go in here. Because I don't want some of these idiots jumping on screen with me.
Uh-oh.
Come on, I'm the star. We're the stars here.
We are the stars. You can't beat us with a stick.
Don't really recognize anybody, so probably sign off here in just a second. I don't see anybody that we'd like to talk to, really. Yeah, it looks pretty. So anyway, this is what the lobby looks like in the Clarion or the lounge area.
Yeah, the lounge area is always kind of nice. Like we haven't fucked it up yet. Nobody's moved feet around.
It hasn't changed in years.
I listen. I saw an orange shirt. Is there like a PEX sighting?
No, PEX is not coming. But that was a good spot. But no, that's not a PEX. PEX couldn't make it, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. I was like,
some PEX, but no,
I see orange. Usually, it's the call of the wild PEX.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to sign off, Eric. If you want to keep going, you can. But
sign off, not, Mike, and I'll close this out.
Miss you guys here. But I know why you couldn't come, but yeah, I still miss you guys.
Thank you. We miss you too.
It's tough being here without you.
I'm getting all sappy. Be good, Mike. Thank
you. All right.
You.
Later, guys.
All right, folks. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We really do appreciate it. I wish I was at GameHole. Would have been a little bit different if me and Mike were sitting there together. Watching Mike walk around was really emotional for me. Holy crap. Oh, I can still hear Mike in the background. But listen, if you're near GameHole, please give it a chance. Attend. You're not going to find a better run convention. Great GMs, great vending area. And Alex is awesome. Listen, again, be safe, be well, God bless, roll those dice. We are still in the midst of the world of COVID. So I ask you to use your common sense. All right? And on that note, I will be back tomorrow with a regular cast. Friday night, myself and I think it's me and Joe the Lawyer. Myself and Joe the Lawyer this Friday on Iron Rations. Saturday night, 8 p.m., myself and my wife Rach doing Gamers Health. And if you are hanging around tomorrow night, we do a hangout on the Tenkar's Tavern Discord server at 9 p.m. Eastern. And it's just a bunch of people from the community. We just hang out, we talk. Some put on video, some don't. And generally we have a really good time. Really good people from across the pond too. So I thank you all. And you're right, David. Glenn was last week. You can't have too much Glenn. So, all right, folks. Thank you again so much. I'll catch you later. Bye bye.